trifling and Etruscan, addicts of drugs not yet synthesized, black marketeers of World War III, excisers of telepathic sensitivity, osteopaths of spirit, investigators of infractions denounced by bland paranoid chess players.
So what's up? Free Thinkers here. Mike Romanelli. Free Thinkers with Mike Romanelli. It should be Mike Romanelli's Free Thinkers with also Clint.
Wow. We can't get it done without Clint. I mean, that's what I was going to say. We got to get a new intro going, and I would like to introduce the podcast and then always give gratitude and thanks to my man, Clint Esposito, who without him we couldn't get any of these things done. So
it's a pleasure.
Free
it's a
think,
pleasure.
and we talk too much, and we probably lose 3 podcasts a day on the phone, which our rule in the beginning was we weren't going to talk to each other, so it was always on air.
That's a rule, but it's like...
Well, in my head. Maybe it was one of those communication things. It might have been one of those rules in my head.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to talk to Clint until we see.
We had a conversation where I told him I'm not a very good communicator.
And neither am I.
I try, man. I do a lot of things because they each pay little, so I have to do them all still until one of them gets more traction, and then I can. It's like this is the focus.
We also don't live in the cheapest area in the world.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
you do have to hustle and grind. I get it, man.
And I bought a truck, and then now I don't need. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're totally off subject.
No, that's okay. Because that's what I was going to say.
I did need it at the time. I rode freestyle motocross. I had tow ramps, and then I got hurt. I stopped doing that, and now so I got hurt. Couldn't ride anymore. Well, I mean, for a long time I couldn't. Anyway, I decided to walk away. I was 36. I'm a dinosaur and jumping motorcycles. You know, at least freestyle motocross. And which there are older people, but whatever.
No, I know what you're saying. But
Yeah, so I stepped away, and now I got this truck. But
is that like an MMA thing where if you have the miles, like you could start late in your life,
yep,
but it's just those miles?
yeah,
right?
exactly. Right. And I rode for a long time. I kind of started a little bit late. I started racing at 13, which that's kind of late. That's late, yeah. Wow. But
they don't test you guys for enhancement supplements, right?
Yeah, they do.
They do?
Not freestyle. They don't. Racing, they do. But freestyle is like if they tested for weed, they would have lost. You know what I mean? 80% of the riders.
No, I mean like like steroids and amphetamines.
No, racing they do, but freestyle is like. I've never heard of any type of drug test in conjunction with any freestyle motocross event.
I'm not one to judge, but if you look at you fellas, you don't look too clean to me. But I also don't see any like Vitor Belfort type racers. Okay,
Yeah,
this is
nobody's
the Free Thinker Society. This is not no carnival party.
Sorry, we just did a podcast.
Yeah, no, that's all right. So we just but no, we're just bullshitting. This is what we do. Clint,
what's our actual point here today?
Well, I think the point for today is first I want to thank anyone from the Swarm that came over from Sam Tripoli. Any of Tommy G's fans from No Mercy, I want to thank you all. That was the podcast on No Mercy was a pretty good show. We got a lot of downloads, and I think my takeaway from that, I love those two guys. Those are my homeboys. Those are my very good friends. But after some of the things that came from that, there's just some topics that I didn't want to bring on a guest. We canceled our guest this week because there's certain things, man. As a free thinker, Clint, we've talked about this shit since I met you and all day today and whatever, the last couple of days. Why personally, one of the big reasons why I got into comedy, I'm not a comic, but I'm in the comedy business, was because I saw free speech under attack. And I saw that people were getting canceled, right? Canceled, and people were canceling, I guess is the best word for it. People were losing, and they weren't. There was clubs where you can't go to certain places and perform if you say this or that. And I have events behind me, and that's a thing that I've always done, was putting events on, and it jumped out at me. I'm like, I love the art form as well, but it was a big reason why I got into comedy. and anyone that's a fan of the dojo of comedy, they know that we don't censor. And it doesn't mean that you need to be dirty, you need to be edgy. It just means you need to be good. But if you have really good comedy,
yeah, whatever you're.
yeah. So we'll take clean comics. That's not the point. But the thing is, we're never going to say this is what you say or that's what you say, and because we don't limit free speech, and that's where we kind of have this little conundrum that we're in right now.
I guess if somebody got super crazy, but I
Well,
don't think.
and if they're not funny, sure,
Well, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, and they're just saying racist stuff or whatever, and it's not really a
Yeah.
joke. But I don't think. I've not seen. Okay, there's one guy I've heard of that's gotten kicked out of a bunch of like mics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never seen him, so I don't even know what he says. But I heard it's basically like we just said, like just.
Well, that's the beauty of New Jersey right now, even though I think it might be changing, hopefully not, and we're not going to let it change, is that we still are kind of one of the last places left where people have thick skin, and we know it's intent. Everything's intent. So why am I bringing all this up?
And a little bit of dark sense of humor, maybe.
So So why am I bringing this up? Exactly, Clint, is that I'm known for being the guy that's the booker owner of the place that laughs harder than anybody with the sickest jokes. And most of the time when that's happening, I know the comedian. I know their intent. And why am
My favorite jokes are the ones where people laugh and some people gasp.
Gasp.
At the same time. Those are my favorite
my favorite thing in the world.
jokes to tell.
Yes. Or when everyone gasps and the only people laughing are us in the back.
Well, I would rather there be other people.
No, no, I love it in a morbid way. The uncomfortable position that my friend or the comic on stage is going through. I love it. It's awesome. But that's just a sick twisted thing. But here we go. So why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because obviously I'm a truther. I don't like the word conspiracy theorist. I'm a free thinker, I think. I always think, and I don't, you call me a flip-flopper, you can call me what you want. But I think we have a little bit of an issue in this field right now. Couple things. One is if we're the echo chamber, right? If you don't like what that person's speaking, the new thing is let's censor it. Let's get rid of it. Well, that's not free speech. And there's a lot of people that now are going back and looking at what comic specials and comics what they said or what they tweeted, and then kind of there's a big movement right now to and then start throwing out labels and names that are once those names go out, once you start calling someone a rapist, a pedophile, once you start throwing those names at certain people, that's very hard to go away.
Yeah.
Right? And that always sticks, regardless if the person all of a sudden, oh wow, they're cleared. So
well, and the retractions, we know that
Yeah.
retractions get to like
oh
what,
please.
like 10% probably of the people that
Yeah, and nobody
saw
reads it.
the
And no
initial.
one reads it, right? And
And it doesn't matter once it's embedded. The idea is embedded into the head. Then it becomes its own thing, right?
Yeah,
What is the
headlines
saying
there,
that
only read headlines.
but what is the thing? If something's repeated enough, it's fact. You know, whether it actually happened or whatever or not, you know, it just becomes the thing. So
Which you're getting into something else I want to talk about, but yes.
yeah, people. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
But you know, that's the same as the anyway. Obviously, anyone, but obviously it's mostly women claiming rape, and then once it's either found out to not be true, or you know what I mean, or they backed out or something. Not, you know, like when those cases happen, the retractions again never hit as many people as the initial.
Yeah,
the
that
damage
person-
is done.
The damage is done. Damage is done. And so here's the thing: there's so much disgusting things, and I'm going to. We've got a lot of fans, I think, because of how passionate I was about speaking about abuse on children, especially sexual, especially the human trafficking thing going on right now. And I will still die on that hill. That is in my opinion, the worst thing that a human could do to another human is anything to a child, especially sexually. And that is an issue. We have, I don't know the number, but it's a crazy number of missing children every year, right? We know we have this problem, and I will still stand by that. Why are we not, I spoke about this on the other podcast as well, was we know that the weekend of Super Bowl weekend is the most trafficked Human trafficked weekend. Like that was, I only know that because we had a Super Bowl here in New Jersey, and it was like on our local news where sometimes they'll just,
yeah, they were like, watch
oh
out.
no, they kept saying, they go, this
being-
is the week. Like, and so that statistic. So then that's where and that's where I started saying, wow, really? I
They
never
follow
heard
the Super Bowl and like what?
Well, so
it's
that-
just such a chaotic
that
event, and there's
weekend.
so
I
many
guess because all the
people.
money and all the people that's the weekend that the most. So my point is it's.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. You'll see it. You'll see it out there if you
In
look.
the
It's a weird
details there.
thing. No, but my
Is it
point-
children or just women?
yeah, it's human trafficking, which is
Okay.
disgusting.
Yeah.
For sexual stuff, and it's a lot of minors. Are they
Either
little
way,
children? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. It's still just, in my opinion, the defenseless, the helpless, the ones that we.
Yeah.
So my point
Anybody
is,
taken and put into a life that, you know what I mean? They're drugged and however the fuck they do
Yeah.
it. Drugged and force them into
some
a
kind
life
of slavery,
that they don't
sexual
want.
slavery. It was
Yeah.
disgusting. So my point is, that's known. That was on the regular news, and other people they that I said that to, they're like, yeah, you know what, you're right. When it comes to our city, that's been brought up. It's not national news, but local. My point is, we spend so much money on pink ribbons, and I think in October everyone has pink shoes. And where's that money going? It's been going on forever for cancer research. We bring so
Yeah.
much awareness in this fucking sport. But I only heard that on my little local news once, and it stuck with me. And it's like, what the fuck? We should all be fucking standing and ending and figuring out. So I'm gonna, like I said, die on the hill of protecting the helpless, especially when it comes to sexual and slavery. And all that. Disgusting. Where it gets dicey and where it gets dicey, in my opinion, is, and a lot is happening in the truth community, a lot. And it's gonna go both ways, guys. Right now, it's the Q and it's that whole thing. But I'm telling you, it's gonna go the other way as well, where we start looking at tweets and start saying, this person is a pedophile, or this person is a racist, or this person is these things that they canceled them. I mean, look at Roseanne. We could use her as an example.
Yeah.
I'm not defending what she said, but she's a comedian. That she lost everything. She got blackballed. But let's talk about even the more disgusting things. So when a comedian, sometimes comedians make jokes all day long, and sometimes they don't fall correctly. A lot of times.
Well, and
Right?
especially in the working out of the joke.
Which is Twitter, and people drink, and maybe they.
Well,
shouldn't
but I
be.
mean, even if you see a bit in the early, like these guys that put out specials, right? This brilliant special, right? Like they have months, year, at least probably a year
Sometimes, yes.
to, I would say more, but I'm saying that's a super fast turnaround, right?
To
Because
sharpen that.
Carlin started to do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
to make an hour's worth of material, every joke a killer.
Mhm.
That takes a long time.
Well, how many things did he probably, especially Carlin, someone so controversial, how many things did he probably say that if we had Twitter would probably be we
oh,
putting
yeah.
him on the list, right?
He seems, honestly, for as much stuff as he said, did he do much like race or
I don't
like
know. I'm
sexual?
just saying. But
like,
I'm just saying any comedian that's not working totally clean, they're gonna say shit. And my point.
Oh, true. With the
What-
cancel culture
That's
now,
what I'm
I bet
getting
they
at.
could have said something for sure.
Yeah, what I'm getting at is that we got to be careful. There's certain people that have tweeted some really disgusting things. And my first question, because I don't know a lot of celebrities, that's not my thing. The first question I always ask, is this person a comedian? If they're a comedian, in my opinion, they get a little bit of a pass. First, we're going to look at it. But when there's things that are just not funny and are cryptic and weird,
Yeah.
I'm still not going to call that person a pedo. I'm still not. But we have the right. I mean, we have this little rinky-dink podcast, and we're free thinking to say, hey, why did you say these words? And what were the point of them? And why are you deleting them? And why are you getting rid of that stuff? And just there's a lot of coincidences that don't make sense.
Yeah.
Right? So, but why I'm saying all of this is because division is a problem, and the people need to all be on the same page, all of us. And a lot of the same people that question 9/11 are now fighting over, is QAnon real? Did this guy go to Epstein Island? Did that guy go to Epstein Island? And it's all about intent, like I was saying about the joke, right? So I don't want to throw names out, but we know we love we always have the crazy comics. We know that some of these jokes, especially at open mic, Maybe they're not that great, but we know his intent. We know that he loves his family or she loves her family. She's not going to hurt. We know who they are. We know that it's just it's shock value. It's they found something they're trying to work and craft, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. So everything's intent. And I think the truth community, the free thinkers, their intent, most of them, is good.
Right.
Now some start getting real into their team, and that's where it gets a little crazy. And hey, if you're really into your teams, I get it, but you also are probably someone that questioned 9/11 if you got this far. Or question maybe even, JFK. You started questioning things, so you're already a little bit off the herd.
Right.
Right? So why are we going to all fight with each other? Now you could say psyops. You could say they're paid for. But this is where I really have to put the brakes on, is I've heard that about people I know. I've read shit on the internet that if I didn't know that person, maybe I'd fall for it in the comments. Oh, this person, this person is bought and sold for by Israel, or this person is bought and sold for by a round earther, right? And all that shit. And they say, wait, I know this person. I know him very well, or her very well.
I think there's the line between questioning and then accusing, right? And free thinking is just going, why did you do that? That's kind of weird. Or why did they do that? And looking into it like that. I think then you get to the accusing state, part, and that's the issue.
Absolutely.
When you don't know 100%. And just because there's a ton, like we just said, about the whole women claiming rape, or women claiming that they're a pedophile and this and that gets out, and then it doesn't matter what really happened.
That person's life is ruined. They are. I don't know. Another controversial person, right? We were talking about Michael Jackson. That's a weird one, right? So you've seen some. That's a weird one. You got people that say no way, no way, no way, and there's others that are 100%. But there's no video. There's no. I mean, there's a lot of weird behavior.
Did the people that are 100% that it happened, other than the kids, I guess, that had claimed it? Although some of them, obviously, I don't know. That's all
exactly.
it is.
We're getting back into what we don't want to talk about.
Well, no. Well, here's the thing. Everything is people poking holes and putting information out. Like they're saying they did. They said, and it's just a big fight of information. So it's very easy to get swept up in somebody making some fake stuff or somebody reading into something, and then they put that information out, and then everybody's into this guy's a psyop or whatever, just because it was posted by, you know what I mean? Somebody and caught fire and got spread by a bunch of people.
I think we could say his name because we might get pulled. We could talk about AJ, the guy that yells a lot from Texas, right? I don't think we could say his name because we might get pulled.
Well, and that's the thing with him too, right? Like the flow of information is been restricted through a couple of sources, which we know are already being, dictated to what they can say. Just with, it's the same thing. Basically, the truth community is cannibalizing itself, like every other community, where they start to, everybody's looking for their own, psyop, and then
some have somewhat likes, right? Somewhat likes.
So now they're just pointing the finger at each other, and it's a lot of it's opinion, right? Personal opinion. Maybe you don't feel like you like that guy personally, so he's got to be wrong. We got to find holes in his opinion, when ultimately you guys are both trying to stop the pedophiles.
Exactly. That's you're 100% right, Clint. And that's the thing is, I think we can't. We got to just keep on course of what we're upset about, what we want changed. And it's kind of sucks that we're stuck on the pedophile and
let's say so
trafficking.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying as a collective of people waking up, that's where the community is stuck. I was lucky enough to start awakening a while ago, and I got hung up on that.
I think that's just a big thing right now.
It is. That's what I'm saying. So I'm kind of back into having these conversations and watching, and I'm really just regurgitating old stuff.
I've heard stuff, but I'm not, honestly, super deep. I know Alex Jones, and I know...
Said his name. Now we're not going to...
Sorry.
Now YouTube just canceled us. I'm just joking.
I know that guy, who that guy is. I've always known who he was. I mean, even, so like all they do is, which he does yell a lot. He's passionate. You know,
He barks a lot.
I think he's been right about a lot of things, right? And then they just paint him as a loon. The other one, right, is Ron Paul, and they've, obviously not to that extreme, but to be as far into government as he was saying some crazy stuff as far as at the point when he was a Republican. They were like, whoa, 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 we can't handle this guy.
Yeah. And the same, do you ever follow anything with like libertarians?
Yeah.
They're doing the same exact thing.
Yeah.
They're doing the same exact thing. It's like a really awesome idea. And so many people, I think, that I speak to, they kind of fall for that. That's their what they would fall in line with until you start digging and you're like, wait, this whole thing is just fucked from the beginning to the end. And it's like,
what's the issue with the Libertarian Party?
The problem is that the ideology of it, great.
Yep.
Find the good candidate for it. It's just like you just said, it's like finding the truthers. They're going to fight. Oh, the world is run by the Jews. Oh, the world is run by the lizard people. Oh, it's just...
you mean, so it's like...
that's
it's
not
like,
a libertarian.
It's like either side now, you get some loon in that group as well. That's just...
Well, the libertarians, that's all I'm seeing. I haven't seen anything, and then it's just... So to me, it's like, this is another... So, you know what I'm saying, man? It's just that there's so much information out there that doesn't sit right with people. There's so much stuff out there that people's eyes are awakening that can't we just, like Rodney King said, can't we all just get along? I mean...
I don't think... Did Rodney King say that?
He did say that during the riots. He was, can't we all get along?
Oh.
But, it's just there's so much fighting going on between people with good intent, and it bothers me.
Yeah.
And it also bothers me that because I agree with this, whatever the thing is. I guess we're still talking about pedophiles, but I agree with ending anything like that. That now I have to be aligned with, everyone that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's how they've set the field up. You're either down here.
You're either with them or against
you're
them.
Either
there's
there.
there's no free thinking.
Everybody's fighting to prove their point. Everybody's fighting to be right. That's it, right? Everybody wants to, at the end of the day, go, I told you that so-and-so was a kid toucher, or I told you that...
And why do you care about that? It's more about just getting... Here we
society less fucked up.
Perfect
right?
one.
Isn't that the ultimate?
Exactly. Don't you just want a better world?
I thought that was the ultimate goal that we're all should be fighting for. Yeah. So
okay, so that was episode 5. Clint just wrapped them.
You're right, but that's man. The issue is that, like they say, divide and conquer. And if we're screaming at each other about who's right, then how are you going to reach a decision on anything or come to a better place? I think also just the fact that I'm getting off subject again. They put into everybody's heads that the world is a terrible place, and now it's a terrible place. And we live in a pretty rad friggin' area of the world. Like, why are so many people from other places trying to come here if it's sucks huge donkey dick? It doesn't make any sense.
No, man. It's I think it was you yesterday that said it. I stayed away from the flu comparison. I think it was you that said to me that was you gave me a statistic on how many people died from the flu. And I stayed away from that because I understand how people get so...
I don't think that was me.
Wasn't you? Somebody said it to me and they're like, it was 100,000 or whatever died from the flu last year. It was a big number. And, so that was that talking point. But if you say that means... If you say those words right now... That means you agree with Trump.
Exactly.
But it was the guy's just like, literally, we Googled it. Whatever he said was 100% right. It's like, wait.
Well, that's how it's, there's too much emotion in all this. And I saw somebody post that, I'm saving anybody that writes any stupid, comment about the virus and it being like I think you saying it's a hoax, meaning all these mandates and stuff, they do, again, what you say. They go all the way to, you say it's fake. No, there's definitely a virus. Like
Yeah.
that conversation is very nuanced.
Mhm.
There's a bunch of middle ground there, but nobody can talk like that because it's about being right. So for them to be right, you have to be an idiot, and you have to be saying, you'll never wear a mask, and you're spitting in people's mouths. You know, like you now, instead of shaking hands, you spit in people's mouths. Like that's the kind of stupid shit that they say, and you're like,
Yeah.
when did I say that? All I said was that, like the fact that they have the new iOS on my phone has the
Seems like it's off.
has
This is that I don't want.
has the tracking
Yeah.
system in it. Like I'm not okay
Not
with
really
that.
for that.
Yeah, I wear the mask in the store. All right.
You're voting for Trump.
You're
a racist.
Exactly.
Like, okay, here, I'll give you another. Like, I have a ton of people that are that I'm friends with that I love. People that I love that are into Q. I'm sure you guys all know about it now because of social media. I have some of those people that are my very good friends, and they're all in on Q. And we have intelligent conversations constantly about why I'm not sure if I believe it and whatever it really is. And
I think that's why we're on a podcast called the Free Thinkers Society. And I'm the same way. Yo, I would love for Q to be what they say Q is going to be or is supposed to be. Listen, I would love the Democratic Party to be what they say they are. I would love for a lot of people to be what they say they are, but it's not, you know, like all these campaign promises are what's going to get them elected, and then
nothing happens.
Exactly.
And if not, it gets worse. Now, Clint, like I'm sure, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I would think for the most part, most of your views are probably liberal views, right? I've never seen you like, besides the jokes I make about like hate speech and all that shit with your hair.
Yeah,
I'm
as
joking.
far as race wise, I guess,
or even like having people get married or getting the cakes made,
Yeah,
all
I
that
don't
little
give a
shit, or
fuck.
whoever's using the bathrooms. I know
Yeah.
you don't give a fuck.
Listen,
about it,
honestly, the whole gay marriage thing, I think, like, why didn't they just call it something else and give them the tax break? Like, right off the bat, like, just go, this is I mean, I guess they wanted to be married, but the ultimate goal is the tax break, no?
yeah. I mean, I don't
Why
know.
is the
I don't know.
government involved in marriage anyway?
Exactly.
Why is there a tax break for marriage?
That's what I'm saying. There's so many other issues that we could be speaking about that are so much more important. I mean, our fucking taxes alone.
Yeah.
We could break them all
Yeah.
down and go. And we should all be.
But I
fucking
don't
going
I don't
nuts.
care if women get married, dudes get married. What the fuck does it matter to me?
I don't care if you marry your dog. Just don't do anything it doesn't want. That wouldn't
I
be
think
cool.
the issue with that has to be religion.
It's Puritan, yeah. It's religion.
And the rap, but like again, you're wrapping in. I'm going to assume, and I could be wrong, and that a large percentage. Are there, since Christianity is so anti-gay, are there a lot of gay Christians? I mean, I'm sure there is.
I mean, we're going against everything we were trying to say before. But no, actually, this is not. This is. You could look at. There's a huge article today about the Catholic Church.
But I would imagine that
I
if
mean, there's
you,
a lot of yes.
but I would imagine that a lot are not because it's not very accepting. No, or is it changed now? Didn't the Pope?
Well-
Oh, never mind. The Pope said that it's.
Is it okay now?
I think
That's
he
cool
did a
now.
couple
The
years
cool
ago.
Pope. The cool Pope
Yeah,
that was not
cool
cool at
Pope,
all.
exactly.
Cool
It
Pope
was
that
like-
was really fucking.
He was like, "Yo, it's all right now."
But what I was gonna say is, in our last podcast,
That's how you keep. That's how you keep. I want to say subscribers. What is it called when you go to the church? You're whatever part of the
fans?
parish or whatever the fuck it's
To keep your
called.
fans.
I don't- yeah, exactly.
Um,
Your donations up.
But what I was gonna get at also is like, okay, I don't think it was really cool that Trump said what he wishes Ghislaine well.
Yeah, no.
See, those are little things like I criticize the guy a lot, but there's a lot like for me especially is like when the whole world that controls the narrative is after him. That makes me be like, maybe we should watch it. Like, why are they? Everyone's after him,
No, I agree. That's my thing.
but he fucks up a lot.
He does fuck up a lot.
He says stupid things.
And has he been to the island? Was he on a log? There's just pictures of them.
There's quite a few pictures.
There's pictures.
That's what I'm saying. And then so this is the whole point. So now
Yeah,
We
he
know
shouldn't have
there's
said-
certain people that have been on a bunch of times, but now because he said that, if you look at, if I go on my Facebook this morning, so I only go on it in the morning.
Yeah,
one
yeah.
time I
Everybody's
check it,
like, he's a pedo.
It's all pictures of
Yeah.
him with her.
Yeah.
Look what he said. You know,
Yeah.
in our last podcast,
Yeah.
you guys want to listen to that. Henry went fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And I get it, though. If I was so anti, it was fucked up. Like, just what I said about the George Floyd thing. When I think we did a podcast, like, in my opinion, he should have just bang, broke it down.
Yeah.
Not waited. Like, the second it happens, come out and just start speaking out. And so that's the little things that I don't agree with. But I am also not. I say this all the time. And it's, for some reason, right now, it's the Trump people that are thinking the same way that I've thought for years. But I am not for one team, man. I'm for, like, fucking tear this fucker down and start a new thing because it's not working and there's so many issues.
I agree.
You know, that's the side
And
I'm
that's-
on. If I had to pick a
that's-
side.
If that's what Trump is, then sick. If he's the
Exactly.
monkey, and the only reason that the only reason that I think that may be the case is because Bush, Clinton, those dudes hated each other until all of a sudden it seemed like there was a common enemy, and then all of a sudden they're all like, "Fuck Trump, we're all together." All of a sudden this seems weird.
It's strange, man. You got to follow. Like, why are they all? You know what, Clint? I used to always say. I don't think I've said this one to you. Like, you know when I realized I'm never gonna take a flu shot? When they'd be like, free flu shot.
Yeah.
We'll even fucking give you $10 off your fucking groceries. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Dude, we're
You're
from the East Coast.
incentivizing
You know,
this
you
flu
don't take,
shot?
like, you don't get something. Like, it's the same thing. Like, if they're all talking shit, if they're all just, no matter what the guy does, they're after him literally all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, do you remember? Okay.
They tried to impeach him from, like, the moment he got in. They were
And that's another
like,
thing, man. It's like everything they go after him. Like, if he really was this,
well, that's the
I
thing.
think there would be
They've gone
more.
after him how many times? How come it's not,
It's a little-
nothing's happened yet?
But I still don't like the comment. I don't like the
I
comment.
don't agree with the comment either.
If now this is the Q community says, like, I've heard from my friends say, what the fuck's up with that? They'll say optics, which I feel like is such a cop out. It's like
Yo,
optics.
it's
or
just
5D
like,
chess.
but that's just like racist. You're racist.
Exactly. That's
Or-
what drives me
or-
nuts. It's like, no, man, that's not the answer.
It's again what we were talking about. How do you discredit this person without actually having to have a conversation with them? You just go racist,
don't-
homophobe.
Or the other way with the right. You don't understand, man. This is above you. Like, you
Yeah.
don't get it.
No.
You understand.
He's definitely.
Dude.
He's definitely.
That was
it wasn't
all done on
weird.
purpose.
It wasn't weird, bro.
all done on purpose.
Like any one person is fucking 100% perfect,
Yeah. So,
right? Do you know? Here's my thing.
No one's perfect.
They put these people that they don't know, celebrities too. They're like, so and so is gonna vote for so and so. So you're an idiot for voting for Trump. And I'm like, they pretend to be other people. What the fuck do they know about politics?
Yeah, what does it matter?
That's
what
just
an
their
actor-
opinion. What do you
who
mean?
An actor wants to vote for.
That guy knows how to pretend he's someone else. I don't know what makes that doesn't make him fucking
That's pretty funny, actually.
a politician.
That we put people that pretend to be other people.
Because they see them on the TV a lot, and I like Jada Pinkett.
You do?
Oh,
No.
whatever. She's
See what I mean?
whatever.
Well, this is not no carnival, but I was going to start talking about that. So we got to be more serious on this
She's
one.
whatever. She's
But-
cool, I guess.
I
She was entangled. I don't know.
She went Tangled?
You
Like a
don't
cartoon?
No, there was a movie, I guess, called
Oh,
Entangled, and
oh,
then she
Entangled.
banged the dude or something, and that's the whole.
The whole movie?
It's not a movie. That's what happened in real life.
Oh! See? This is they tricked me so much. That I thought this was the...
She banged the
thought
guy
this was
from
the
the movie who was like 16. He needed consoling.
what?
She consoled him. That's actually probably something to look into.
This is how much I don't... pay
I
attention to
don't
celebrities.
know. This is how much I know. I'm giving you
It's probably
horrible
all
bits
wrong,
and pieces.
allegedly.
No. He was young. He was mentally. He was going through something emotional, and she was comforting him, and then they ended up banging. So that's what everybody's saying. If this was reversed and this was a guy and a girl, everybody'd be freaking the fuck out.
Clint, we've spoken about this many times. We were in remedial classes. Why didn't we
I know.
Why didn't any of our teachers
I know. I
Like-
must not have been.
Like,
I had
why
all
did they
old.
say? Yeah, exactly.
I only had one. I had one gym teacher that was pretty young.
but it was a dude.
And no,
He was
I
young.
sucked his dick.
Yeah, he was
It
firm.
was cool.
Dude,
No, she was pretty young, and I used to flirt with her, but that was about where it went.
Yeah, I mean,
I used to get a little bit of.
it's definitely a
preferential
little
treatment.
different, man. That's one of those. That's one of those things. Like we have a free thinking conversation about that. It's a little different. If you're 16, 17, and you're a dude,
Yeah. No,
and the
for
hot gym
sure.
teacher's sending you fucking what do they do?
No,
Snapchats of
yeah,
her,
like
you know.
she definitely did not. She just would giggle and be like, get the fuck out of here. But I just used to try and flirt with her.
Yeah, actually, I had no good looking.
That was it. There was one ever. And then she
But-
only lasted a couple months, and then they moved her somewhere.
I think I have
I was like,
heard,
what the fuck?
not in my school, but I have heard of like a dude that like banged one of the chicks. Like that's weird.
No, I have, and I don't know any names or anything, but some of the teachers were definitely banging one or two of the students when I was going
Yeah.
to school, like my grade or younger.
It's all coming back to me too, but I definitely remember stories like that as well. Which is I don't know, man. It's creepy, but I just feel like this has been covered by so many comics before. I forget, maybe Chappelle or someone said they get, he gets too many high fives or something. That was like, it was some kind of fucking hilarious joke back then. Like, would he suffer from like getting, But it's all these fucking words, man. This is serious stuff. Like the pedophiles, or like even what happened with Dalia. Once again, don't condone that type of shit. I am not.
I didn't.
I think it's weird. Like I'm not into. I don't understand when a dude is into a girl that's not fully mature. Like to me,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
But right away, threw the pedophile word at him. That's a word, man. That's a word that once, like you said, with rape. Like if you say someone raped someone, like once that person hears your name with that word, like that's an association that you got to be careful. You got to be careful.
How many people do you think, especially women, I would imagine, now just think Dalia's a, you know what I mean, monster?
Yeah, I mean, I would think that guy's career is probably in a lot of
It's
trouble.
at least
I
hurt.
mean,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. I mean,
And even the conversation we had with somebody else that was just in, Johnny in here, he said that he's conservative, so he kind of gets, has a hard
just heard
time
it. We
with
just
some
heard
of
him say
the
that.
clubs.
we just heard him say, which is nuts because that's not my mindset, and I don't care. I don't care if you're the biggest Hillary supporter. If you're fucking funny as hell,
Yeah.
fucking share
Yeah.
the stage, man. So many of my friends, I don't agree with what they. So many family members are on the like. They're those people, but I still love them.
Yeah.
I love you, man. Like I love you. Like and that's the weird thing is like I have crazy fucking views. I will listen to a flat earther. I'm not there, but I'm not one of those like people get mad. You want to piss someone off? Like if you ever want to get someone get out of your house, by the way, guys, if you have a guest at your house that's there too long and you want to get rid of them, if you're listening to this show,
Start flat earthing.
start putting flat earth documentaries on. They will get up and leave. I mean, the other thing that happens, they might just start, hey, you want to smoke some weed and hang out? That's never happened because that person would be like, on the show. But yeah, you ever want to get rid of a guest and it's going on too long, be like, hey, man, I'm kind of into this. And find the cheesiest ones. Don't find the good ones. Find ones that just look. And they'll be like, are you
Like they're
serious? Get the
CGI'd.
fuck-" Yeah. But like, my point is I listen to that side, but I would never get so mad if Clint was like, yeah, man, I really think that, I'm a girl. Like I'm telling you, I don't have a vagina, but I'm a girl. I would be
Yeah.
like, all right, dude. I wouldn't be like, are you fucking nuts? Get out of here.
Yeah.
I'll be like, all right, that's what you're like.
I had a friend that, dude, you'd never know in 100 fucking years he was gay. We had no idea for a long ass time, and then they were like, "Yo, he's gay," and I was like, "Oh, well." That does make sense now, giving a couple instances that I know of. But yo, we were at this club. No, we're at a club, and some girl goes up and starts dancing with him, and he's just like she was a fucking skank. And I was like, yo, she was pretty hot. like, did you get her name? He's like, just mad about it. And I was like, I'm totally confused. 10 years later, oh.
Yeah, that's
Well.
happened with a couple of our friends. And I actually do know some people that are like, yo, I can't talk to XYZ anymore. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh, you had other friends be like...
Yeah, I have. I don't understand that mindset. And I feel like if you are a free-thinking person, that if you're already questioning narratives of things, like, why are we going to fight with each other? Well, you could have a and listen, you can do whatever the fuck you want. My opinion is...
But what does it matter?
Have a conversation.
Anyway.
Like, hey, man, I do think that it's a ball. I am way too dumb to be able to convince you why it's a ball. And tell you all this shit.
The globe.
Yeah, we're talking
I
about
thought
the
we were
Earth.
talking about gay.
No, we're talking about yeah, I'm trying to get off of that.
I was like a ball.
Yeah, balls. And, yeah, but like I'm just saying, like that's such a complex thing, right? That I just know that that's what I was told in school. So that's why one of those things that I don't really have the time right now to really go down that. But if someone's a really good researcher on that, I always want to listen. I want to hear about it. That's what this whole show is about, man. I want to get past the QAnons. I want to get past the fucking the politics. I want to start talking about people that swear that they saw Bigfoot. I want to talk to people that have been to Skinwalker Ranch and can tell you some real details, you know? People that could fucking, you know, that's where I'm trying to head. And I also want to, and I know you do as well, Clint, is while people's eyes are opening, give them a place where they could feel comfort, because a lot of the stuff in the beginning is very dark. It gets really dark. But you know, I love what Sam is doing, how he says, and that quote he has is so fucking perfect, that conspiracies lead you to spirituality, because it's definitely a course it does.
Yeah, well, it's honestly, it's looking at the system and going, oh, you know, like we're being manipulated. Yeah. So it is a direct correlation.
Yeah.
You know, because you realize this is, I think there's, like, as our world goes further from hunter-gatherer, roaming the land with just your tent and being outside in nature, being in the sun, doing all that stuff, to sitting all the time, being inside under lights. You know, like the whole scenario changes, and that's why we now have all this ADHD. No, that's somebody that should be a fucking hunter or a warrior or out chopping trees or doing something but sitting at a desk and trying to focus. Like that's a different type of person.
On meaningless things too, right? Like imagine like if you have a job, like it's we're definitely harming ourselves as a species. I have to agree with that completely. And I learned that off of the we'll call it the I hate the fucking lockdown or whatever. I learned, like, once after a month went by, you know, I realized all these certain life skills that I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, holy shit.
Yo.
Like, I got to learn how to fucking cut wood with a real, like, a handsaw.
Do you know what happens?
Which sounds so silly.
Do you know what happens when there's a huge catastrophe on Earth?
What happens?
The motherfuckers in the middle of the jungle right now, they thrive. And they survive. And those are the ones that make it, because they're the only guys that can chop all their trees, build their houses by themselves, hunt their food, do all that shit. We're all out here in this huge convoluted system shipping fucking avocados from Mexico and fucking peppers from California. Why do I have a pepper from California?
In, like, the winter. That's the best part. You know, like in the dead of winter.
And they picked it a week and a half before it was ripe, and it just happens to be colored right by the time it gets you.
Yeah.
The nutrients, it was stopped getting nutrients 2 weeks ago, well before it was
here
right.
in New Jersey, man, we're in
the Garden State, baby.
I know, which is so funny because nobody thinks about that. But
I know. We get big old tomatoes. And sweet corn.
Be like, yeah, that's where I'm going right now. If we were doing the free ballers right now, it would have been like, I took a
tomato sandwiches in the summer, just oil, vinegar, salt, pepper, mayonnaise.
No mayo.
No mayo?
Not for me.
You pussy.
I'm not gonna. Back in the day, I'd fucking fight you over that. But see, now I'm a free thinker, and I'm like, nah, it's a little salt and pepper. Oh my god, the tomatoes right now. that are coming out of New Jersey, right? I mean, it's just like they're so good. And I don't know why we're going off of tomatoes, but I love tomatoes, and it's one thing to get
You're
me.
Italian from New Jersey.
I love gardening. I love growing my
know.
own food. But it's just how different is it, Clint? Right? Like today, I made a salad for my family, and half of it was my tomatoes. The other half were like from the store, and they were organic, probably from California.
Yeah.
The taste, it's like a different food.
Well,
It's a different thing.
Yo, go to papaya.
Oh, I know.
Papaya.
Fruit
Fruit in general, but here papaya
Yeah.
is a texture in your mouth.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Gross.
taste like
It's actually
anything.
kinda gross.
Yeah,
It could be
doesn't.
gross.
Yeah, and then I was in Colombia or something.
Whoa. Highly offended by that statement.
What, that I don't remember where I was,
All
or
the
just
same
saying?
place you're getting at?
I don't know. I don't remember where the fuck I was.
South or Central America?
Could have been someplace else. And they bring out papaya, and I was like, oh, I'll just eat it. And then I took a bite of it. I was like, I'll eat it first and get rid of it. And I took a bite of it. It was so good. It was so flavorful. And I'm just like, this is a different fruit.
That's the way I feel with tomatoes in New Jersey to like California.
It would probably be
hydroponically
anywhere,
grown.
maybe. But maybe if you were anywhere where they could ripen actually on the vine and get those nutrients for the extra week, you know, that's where
That's another thing. I don't know if people know.
Flavor.
Yeah,
It's
that they
so
just like cut crops, put them in boxes, like you
green as fuck.
Yeah.
So that by the time it gets to you, it's not rotted.
Yeah, which is kind of changing right now because the supply chain is fucked up.
Well,
are seeing
we
more-
need to go back to local. Like this is the lesson in this right now.
Yeah.
Why are we trucking shit all the way across the whatever? Even if it was just up the coast, you know, Florida can grow shit for most of the year.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Georgia?
and then forget about everything that we send to China. I mean,
Well,
that's a whole nother.
That's ridiculous. How
But you know what
far
I'm
is
saying?
that?
Like that. It's like you're right. I mean,
Unless it's a spice or something dried out, like where you
Of course.
can't get it here, cool. But other than that,
we shouldn't. Yeah. I hope there's a silver lining in this whole thing. And like I said, for myself, it was like, oh, there's certain skills. Like I have the internet right now, which was amazing. So let's look up how to do this or that. You could teach yourself.
yeah.
Shit that would take people forever, and you know, and all these skills. I mean, I probably annoyed you with all the pictures of fucking sourdough breads I was making, you know. But I was just like,
I don't think I got that many sourdoughs.
no, because I was just
It was always like, I'm in the backyard. I'm by this river.
yeah, staring at the river. No, so you know that was something that I'm a chef or whatever, but I never fucked with doughs and breads, and I really got into. Of course, I had to go right to the deep end.
I love
right,
the dough.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Clint? I mean, it's like the whole thing is America, the world. Actually, we got some issues, man, and it's like the people all over the world want to fix it, and we all, for the most part, most of us agree with each other more than we disagree.
Exactly.
And that's what pisses me the fuck off, man.
But everybody's emotionally charged by all this stuff
Yes.
that they see, and their responses are off of emotion
Like teams. It becomes
versus
teams.
being like, let's all figure this out. It's you're an idiot. I'm right, you're wrong. You don't agree with me. You're an idiot. And I try to tell people, I'm like, listen, you don't fucking know either. I'm like, because these mainstream medias, the ones that are super big, that are the ones that are news sources, right? Because this is the game. And it's, again, like we said, I think this is the theme of the show. Everything is me, or you agree with me and say what I say, or you're the complete other side.
Okay.
You know, so what were we?
No, we're just talking. We're talking about like teams, rah rah. Everyone getting, everyone.
Yeah.
You're on one. There's no middle.
There's no nuances. Everybody needs to be. I just keep saying this. Everybody needs to be right, and
It's so important to be right nowadays, which is so fucking. Who cares? Like
We
for
need-
me, I like we were just saying. I just want my children and their children to have a better world.
And that's what they want too.
Yes.
But
they get hung up on it.
They get emotionally charged, and they start, if you don't agree with me, we're not going to have a conversation. If you got further down the road of the conversation versus the headlines, everybody talks in headlines now, right?
100%.
This is what you said. This is what, so that's what you think. No, that's not what I said. You know what I mean? It's like,
Clint, any older people in your life, did
Somewhere
they
in
ever call
between.
TV shows programs to you? I'm watching my programs.
I mean, I know
You've
that.
heard that, right?
Yeah.
That's fucking done
I
for a
can't think
reason.
of anybody.
But I remember my grandparents, the ones that weren't off the boat, saying, "Oh, I enjoy this program," because that's what it went. Because they knew these are the media, the TV, even the music, everything you put into your brain. It's a program. Like I've said in the other episodes, I believe we're some kind of supercomputer, and easily programmed. And you want to fill your head, just like if you want to fill your body with fucking junk food, you're going to look a certain way eventually sometimes. Some people have great metabolism, maybe not right away, but eventually. Same thing. I'm somebody that could tell you that's myself. I filled my head with garbage music, garbage video games, and I'm such First Amendment. People are like, ban these. This is a funny point. I'm happy I'm just saying this, Clint, because this is something I want to talk to you about. So do you remember when we were kids, it was the Republicans. It was the right that the censor warnings, right? Parental advisory.
Yeah.
They're trying to crush 2 Live Crew, take that away from us, take the video games for 2, all that stuff. And video games I'm on the fence with because I feel like that's almost like it's weird. I don't know how we fix that issue, but I am. But anyway, it was the right. Now I feel like it's the left is really trying to censor shit 20, 30 years later, that now the right is for free speech. You understand what I'm saying? How the fuck can you be on one? How can you be the same person that was fighting to keep Larry Flynn, right, Hustler, because it was a free speech thing, but you fought for that, but now you're trying to fight to get QAnon posts taken off of the internet, and you agree with that. And there's really smart people, because a lot of times it's people that are college educated that really feel that side. And I just don't get it. Like, if I don't agree with something, it doesn't mean it needs to be censored.
Well, no, everything you don't agree with doesn't need to go away. That's
Yes.
We're getting into a dangerous part right now where everything is augmented. And I think I was touching on this earlier. Everything is augmented to where you need to be in these couple of news sources to get real news, right? Which is controlled by the powers that be. Because, and I've said this before, if Fox is supposed to be diametrically opposed to CNN, there's a lot of shit that they don't report that they totally could or should.
Yeah.
So then they just vilify everything else as loonies. Like it's the discrediting. It's the same thing we're talking about. They just, if it's not from these couple of news sources, then it's from some loony unknown, when maybe they're the free speech people trying to put this out. You know what I mean? But it gets branded in everybody's mind as some kind of like conspiracy theorists
some
or
article and like, that's CNN. This came from CNN, man.
Yeah, or they're like, that's the Inquirer, not the Inquirer. That is really a joke, but like
the Post or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. That's like, I'm supposed to believe this. I remember a couple years ago when people actually be like, dude, I Snopes that.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, now people are like, there's still
and
definitely
I've
people
been
in this
saying,
world that will say I Snopes it.
Well,
but for the most part, I think that shit's been.
Well, so I had a talk with somebody about that too, and I'm like, the fact checker had to become I was like, yo, they're censoring stuff. They go, they have to stop the spread of misinformation, and I'm like, no, they don't. You can research fucking further. Like that's how you get to the point of. So now, so then I was like, he goes, they have to do it, and I said the researchers are part of the National Institute of fucking research or some bullshit like that. And he was like, of course they do. They need to be vetted. And then I looked into it, and the one Koch brother was the guy that started that. And I was like, yo, like that guy doesn't have fucking
There's not
some
a
kind
lot
of
digging
interest.
to see that
like,
site is
yeah,
not.
but I'm like, yeah, like.
I know, man.
So, and then Google, same thing. We're stopping the spread of misinformation.
I don't know if Google, well, they do it with YouTube, but Google,
Google does.
Google was 10 years ago. I'll just use 10. I know for a fact. 10 years ago, when you Googled shit, you got true results.
Well, and I said something about that, and a girl says, they have to censor that because otherwise child porn will come up. And I'm like,
unfortunately, that's not the case because
well,
I wish that was true.
Here's the thing, though.
I wish that was true.
You're telling me that the censor software that they have installed is it sees conservative points of view exactly. It renders them exactly the same as child porn. Like there's no medium in between. You can't figure out. You can't go, this is child porn and this is someone that enjoys guns.
How about there's so much of that garbage on there? Can't we find all? Like, can't we figure it out? Like,
what kind of garbage? What do you mean?
Just disgusting things with images of children. I purposely don't search certain things because I don't ever want to see it. It will come up. Someone will post something that says horrible from this or that.
I'm sure it's there. Again,
supposedly it's there. Right?
I'm sure
there's a lot of disturbing stuff. They will make its way.
If you know where to look, I'm sure that you could go to another server or some bullshit like that.
I am not 100% a Q guy, man. I followed Q when it first came out, and I was like, there's been so many things about it. I do believe that there's a lot of information that woke people up. So, hey, just like Alex Jones, we were saying, hey, I don't know where I feel with Alex Jones. I know that early on, he was the guy that I listened to, and I'm not embarrassed to say that, because in the early days, I would look at InfoWars, and I'd look at his shit, because he was talking about things that you couldn't find anywhere else. Right? So...
And they just painted him as a
and who is who is he getting paid by? And there's definitely topics he doesn't touch and whatever. I don't know, and I don't claim to have those answers. But by censoring these people, or by demonizing these people, like, just let everyone fucking have a crazy fucking opinion. Now, those people are gone, right? It's hard to find Alex Jones or these other conspiracies, we'll call them, or big tragedies that there's a lot of talk around that everything doesn't add up. Those things are hard to find.
Yep.
And been scrubbed, and anyone who made money off of them aren't allowed to. But like you were saying, CP, that kind of disgusting shit, CP, all that,
trying to figure that
all
out.
that crazy kind of stuff is pretty available from what I'm told. Or, like, I just saw a thing today that was definitely real. I fact checked it. It was like talking about how all the QAnons are getting deleted or whatever, which I'm not 100% sure if that's even
on
real,
Twitter?
because there's a bunch of people that I know and follow that are still there. So that could even be a fucking, I don't know. Or maybe it's,
I don't trust anything.
Yeah. Like,
this is my point, is that I was having this debate online, and I'm like, you don't know the truth. And they're like, it's what'd they say? Integrity in reporting. And I'm like, are you fucking? But like, what are you talking about? So I literally said, who is a good reporter?
I wish we had that.
I said, what news stations are good? Or what are bad, maybe? And they literally said, the two people from CNN that got caught are bad. This is literally what they said. The two people that got caught from CNN are bad. Such and such and such and such are good, and Fox is terrible. And I'm like, that's obviously confirmation bias. You obviously feel that. How can you're telling me that these two newscasters at CNN brought this story in and nobody fact checked it before it went to fucking air?
Well, you've obviously seen the Mockingbird.
They just threw those two under the bus.
Yeah.
That's all that happened.
And a lot of which I kind of respect, a lot of the guys that are very hard right Trump guys, they all call Fox garbage.
Yeah.
So
like I said, they don't put stuff out that a lot of times I see online or something, and I'm like, how is Fox not reporting this
Oh,
if
all
they're
the time.
really the
all
like
the time.
the opposite side of CNN and MSNBC? If they were, you know, the total opposite, they would be saying this, and they don't.
Which, could you imagine? It's so crazy to me that we have that's part of our programming. That there's to show you the news that it's biased. That's crazy to me.
Dude, the
That's
news
crazy.
is biased as fuck. It is crazy.
And there's nothing out there. And it's like, okay, everyone speaks about this. Everyone's annoyed by it. At least most people that I speak to seem to be annoyed by it. And there's no one that's come forward. Remember, Vice was like that for like a second.
Was what?
Kind of like just would show you the news, like not news, but like shit. Vice a while ago. They're
I mean,
totally
it must have
different
been a
now.
long time
Yeah,
ago.
yeah. When it first, like when Vice was you know, it was interesting.
Yeah, they got liberal as fuck. Like,
Dude, it's not even liberal. It's just like it's Mockingbird. Like if you're gonna like that is there's certain things that we can't call conspiracies anymore. Like we have the power of the internet to have multiple videos been made. You've seen it, right? The Project Mockingbird videos where it's like all over the country. Even the small broadcasters are just
I don't even know
literally.
what Project Mockingbird is.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is fun. Okay, great. So.
Yo, I know, like...
No, but you know so much stuff, but you just don't give yourself credit. Mockingbird is it's just the name of an operation. It's like, you know, that you should look it up because we've been doing podcasts for a while. My brain's a little sizzled, but it's basically a Mockingbird. You're gonna tell the narrative, right? It's a CIA operation. So I know you've seen the video. Can you Google it, or you're not the computer?
You
It's
got
mine?
the Google
Fuck. Okay,
computer.
I'm the worst person to do this. Should I use Chrome?
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah, go right in the Google later.
Well-
we should probably go in DuckDuckGo or something.
yeah, Project.
Or what's
I'm the worst person for this, guys. Sorry.
No, you're spelling good.
But so Project Mockingbird YouTube video. Yeah, when I show this, I know. I feel like you've shared it before.
No, I don't think so.
No, I know you've. Fuck, dude, that's crazy. It should be the first thing. What I wrote, it should literally be the first thing, and it's not because this has been shared so many times.
Jesus, was this guy?
Yeah, this guy's just
powdering the fuck out of his.
You know how they can
Junk.
just smell my nuts, so they're like, that's the.
I don't understand what's going on with this guy's
man.
nuts.
I can't believe it's shared all the time. How do I find this, Clint? I'm the wrong guy for this.
I don't know.
project.
I think you need to not be on probably YouTube.
No, it's the
Go to BitChute.
Mockingbird.
BitChute.
You're probably right.
Mockingbird news clip.
Here we go. Boom. See, you gotta act like an idiot to get it.
Oh. I know what you're talking
You know
about
this,
now.
right?
Yeah, when
Most
every...
people will. I think we're allowed to do this because we're speaking over news. But dude, look, it's
And it's only super small clips of stuff.
but it's like
So this is all the different news channels
throughout the country, all
saying the
little
same
guys.
things.
It's every station.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common
And
on
it's great.
social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish
And
these
there's
same
been
fake
way
stories
more than just this
without
one
checking
done.
facts
This is
first.
the famous one.
Sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on
Because-
social media.
It's a script, man. So these are the little stations.
Well, and here's the other thing too with the virus, right? They're like every hospital, they're like, our doctors are doing this or say this and that. Listen, every hospital's doctors can't research this thing. They're all getting their information about what the virus is from the same fucking person.
you know, that's
Is that not true? Like every doctor, even though they're a virologist or whatever, they're not studying the virus. They're supposed to trust the CDC or whoever it is that disseminates the information out of what exactly protocol is and what the virus is, right?
or God forbid somebody comes up with somebody that is studying it
An
says
alternate.
something doesn't follow
yeah.
that.
No, well, and then
I
they
mean-
just paint them as that's what the
Conspiracy theorists.
discredit them. They were hey, I would watch out. They were discredited, and I'm like, by who? The people that they spoke out against.
I mean, we were speaking
that's a
about
fucking
vitamins
stupid.
yesterday, right? 2 days ago.
Yeah,
About
I'm actually
vitamins.
working on that because there's a lot of information gathering for. I got a Clint files coming out about
Nice.
FDA and vitamins and all that shit.
Telling you, man, that's one thing that scares me. Be careful. You ever see a list of
I'm gonna
doctors?
have you on.
No, I'm good. I've done a couple. We could talk about like ayahuasca and things like that. No problem. But no, that I'm joking.
Operation Mockingbird. This article is about the unconfirmed CIA program to influence the press. For the confirmed CIA wiretap operation, see Project Mockingbird.
Yeah. So
So I like how they. I mean, obviously they have to disclaimer it with obviously.
but that's another new
unconfirmed.
thing that didn't used to happen. But I think with Wikipedia, anyone can something like that.
But this is the written. This what is this little like disclaimer deal up here?
Well, that's kind of you're gonna see this. Like I said, Googling nowadays.
According to author David.
Yeah, Googling things nowadays. This is the best you're gonna get to pull it up quick, dude. Back in the day, if I put Project Mockingbird or Paperclip or any of these fucking crazy MK Ultra, dude, the fucking pages that would come up,
Yeah.
and you'd get message boards.
So
and
what's
you
the search engine that we need to use?
Bro, I mean,
Is DuckDuckGo?
I have used DuckDuckGo. I guess that's where you go. But
I bet there's other ones.
I mean, I'm
that
not
are
like,
like more fringe.
yeah,
that'll
I'm
really
not.
Get you.
I'm not.
But that's where you do end up with child porn.
yeah, and that's
maybe.
why I don't. You know, it's like I've gone down so many rabbit holes. I'm not saying I know everything.
I don't want to get on the black web. I just want to like a little bit freer.
But dude, the old
Google.
days of YouTube, man. And there's still stuff there. You just gotta search harder. Like you could still find a lot of stuff on YouTube, and people say that to me because like a lot of people now. I know it's late to the game, but I'm having a lot of family members like, hey, did you see Into the Shadows? Was it Into the Shadows?
I think so.
Right, In the Shadows. And I'm like, yeah, and like, I can't believe it's still on YouTube. And I'm like, yeah, but that's how this shit works, man. It's like, I don't know if the original guy's content's there, but when people want to get the information out, it's pretty hard. Now, Alex Jones is a different story. Yeah, he's not getting monetized, but his videos, if you really want to find them, you'll find them. They
Yeah.
can't keep up with, right? So
But
it's
on
out there.
YouTube?
But if you want to be late, yeah, Alex Jones you'll find on there. You will. Now, it's,
Off of somebody
it's Clint,
else's
it's Clint,
page.
yeah, it's Clint.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Sniffs my own farts.
Clips or
you know,
something.
is the name of the creator,
Yeah.
and it will be down another day. But I'm saying, what
I was gonna say they're pretty good at having shit on file, and if you, I've had a bunch of stuff like uploaded. I did a friggin' movie viewing online with the people that made the movie, and YouTube pulled it down on me while it was live. Like a half an hour in, they're just like,
you
got
told me
an
that.
email like, "Yo, we're clipping you."
And you were like with the guy that made it.
Yeah, I'm like.
Come on,
I'm like, I
man.
have the producers, half the cast in the thing.
Like you're literally.
I even wrote in advance. I emailed YouTube and was like, yo, I'm doing this thing. They have rights to the music, all that. I'd like to do it. So then I wrote, nobody said anything. And then when I was like, after I did it live on Twitch, I was like, I'm going to just upload it to YouTube and see what happens. It didn't get flagged. And that one was in movie theaters.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ever see that? There's a brilliant kid. There's a brilliant kid. Because now it's hard, but I don't even know. Maybe last year it was very easy to just steal UFC fights, pay-per-views, right? And there's this brilliant kid that, because most people on Twitch are watching video games, right? So he's in the corner with the joystick.
Oh, yeah, with the game on.
Yeah.
See,
Too many people talked about it on large podcasts, so it eventually got shut down. But yeah, how smart is that? Because the games look so. I mean, because that's the way they're monitoring stuff, right? It's not like fucking one dude. You know, however they do it, I once again have no idea. But I've heard like Did you ever hear that? That like memes that they can't really censor memes. That's why memes are so big in the conspiracy world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the AIs or whatever, like they have a hard time reading memes.
Huh.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard it from multiple. You know, they say that's why Elon tweeted the other day, send in the memes or something.
Huh.
Because he's been going. But, you know, that's another person, right? We could talk about Elon Musk, right? That's a guy that people get fucking, they either love him or they hate him.
Yep.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, I seen somebody the other day. I don't remember what he was associated with, but it was like, I think they, I don't remember what it was, but they were like, yeah, fucking Elon's going down too. Get him. And I'm like, oh my God. That guy's trying to bring electric vehicles to the world. Like,
Yeah.
what is your problem?
And now listen, yeah, is the Neuralink thing weird? For fucking sure.
Yeah.
That's really weird. Not
He-
something I would ever
he's
want. I'm sorry.
And he's even said himself he's worried about AI.
yeah.
But he can't help himself. He's a nerd. He's a super nerd.
Imagine being as powerful as him,
Yeah.
and you're allowed to do all these crazy ideas you come up
and
with.
you have the money to do them.
Yeah. So it's like, but once again, we're talking about somebody that we only know from TV, what we've seen.
Right.
We don't know I don't know anyone's ever met the guy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And we have our small, but there are people that it's like, how do you not fall for that guy? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, the fucking the Tesla in space, it does look a little spotty. That video does look a little like, you ever see that one?
I think I did.
It's like you're like, all right, this does look a little bit.
Yo, who cares? Even if he did that?
No, why am I in your email? Oh shit.
Yeah, get out of my email, bro.
Dude, how do I get off of this? Get this off your thing, man.
Exit out.
Alright,
What do you mean?
That's all right. We'll do no videos for this one.
They can't see this
Okay. Tesla. I think you're supposed to be able to watch it in real time. I don't know. Yeah,
Oh,
live.
it's still
See, it
in
comes
space
in live.
now?
Yeah. Like, well, this is from 2018. This is how much I don't know the fuck I'm talking about. But here, check it out. This is supposed to be the fucking video. And
What the fuck is
I'm like
going
this, like that, dude. They're trying to tell you that's it. No joke. Clint, no joke. That's supposed to be. Like you're supposed to be like, oh, cool.
on?
Like, wait, what?
Yeah, you can't even see anything.
Come on, man. That's supposed to be the live video. Here, I'll move it a little bit. But like, doesn't that look fake as fuck to you?
Yeah, it
Does
does.
that look real?
Not really.
Am I like just crazy? Or look at like,
Doesn't look real.
hold on, this is live. That's supposed to be live footage of that thing in space right now. Well, when it was live. Like, come on, man.
Why aren't there any stars or anything?
But like, what is that? Come on, man. Now here, just to make sure, like, I'm not. If Henry was here, he'd probably freak out. That it's like, so I'll go find us another one, and it's like here. That's supposed to be. Oh, that's our boy. I do like the guy. I don't have anything bad to say about him. I don't. I feel like he's trying to.
I again want him to be what?
Yeah.
What?
You want him to succeed.
Yeah.
Q.
I want him to succeed. I want him to really have the Earth's well-being and people's well-being
Yeah. You
at
want those
heart.
people.
You know what I mean? I want that to be the case.
However, that's actually a great point you just made. But for some reason, humans and
That's
all of us.
supposed to be real.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be real. Don't. But Clint, I'm so happy you brought this up because you know what, man. I think a big thing we all got to take away is no one's fucking coming to save us.
No.
The only person that's coming to save us, it's not Elon, it's not Trump, it's not fucking Biden, it wasn't Obama. No one's coming to save us. The only way to save us is by ourselves, bettering ourselves, and not. So I'm starting to play with the idea, which is for sure.
The fuck's going on here?
Is I don't know what's going on right now. I'm sorry, guys. I'm starting to think about. So I heard this somewhere, and it's so true. Is that you got to stop thinking about the. We got to stop thinking about the best life for us right now. We got to think about when we do things, how it's going to affect 50 years from now, 100 years from now, and start thinking that way. Imagine if the world thought that way. What kind of world we'd be living in? But everyone, especially in the United States, it's instant gratification, and I'm hoping this bullshit is letting people realize that instant gratification is not really a thing anymore. I mean, it still is, I guess, with your phones and shit. But, I don't know. For myself, I realized that it takes 2 days to make one little loaf of sourdough bread, and it's gone in fucking 5 minutes.
Unfortunately for everybody, I think we're at a split in the road where you can either go one of two ways.
Mm-hmm.
Technology or back to nature. And I fear that, and not back to nature, but I mean, to an extent, yeah.
Or what about
Because I think that,
having a symbiotic relationship with nature?
right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But how much can you produce all this metal and plastic and pollutants and be at one with nature? You know, how do you produce all this stuff not making any actual emissions? You know, not like reusing their waste and then saying they're green.
Well,
How about not making waste?
yeah, to be the devil's advocate, right? On the once again, probably not smart enough to be talking about this stuff, but devil advocate about the batteries, right? Let's say we all go to the batteries. Well, that's lithium ion.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another element that needs to be mined.
Exactly.
It's like we think so short
And then
term.
and then the end of the battery, it becomes toxic. This
Yeah.
is my point.
Which I just saw something on the news or somewhere that they were talking about basically which I've been saying since I'm a kid. Like, why don't we have batteries that last forever? I understand when they first were a thing. Okay, sure. But like by this
That's
point,
a stupid statement. Why
at this point in the game,
don't they make anything that lasts forever?
well, it's not a stupid statement. It's just a statement that's like that's the thinking that we have.
You know,
that's the thinking we have.
You know why they don't.
Of course. Like, check this out.
That's why I
Do you
mean-
remember your grandparents' kitchen?
Uh,
Do you, or somebody that age group, somebody that would be in their 80s, let's say, or from that World War II era?
I feel like our grandparents had to be the same age.
Yeah. So I vividly remember both my grandparents' kitchens. You know, I'm a chef, whatever, so that's stuff I remember. They both sets of them, had every piece of fucking equipment that worked perfect from when I was a little kid
Yeah.
until we sold their homes.
Yeah.
Like, everything worked perfect. Dude, I put a new kitchen in my home 9 years ago. I've been replacing fucking appliances
Yeah.
all the time now.
Because everything is figure out how to make it cheaper.
Dude, I think there's a market I believe that there's going to be a market for things that, hey, you want this laptop? This will be the only laptop you need to buy, but it's going to cost 4 times the amount.
Yeah.
I would buy it.
But
Now, I know we're into innovation, so maybe a laptop's not the best example. A refrigerator.
no, that's
refrigerator,
not what I was
right?
gonna say. Where did you get your appliances?
I mean, I'm going to throw the fucking company under the bus, but it was just
No, but it wasn't okay.
It was a local, like, you know, not wasn't a Best Buy type,
well,
but it was like a local.
that's the thing. They say that the ones from like Walmart and stuff like that. I've heard this from somebody that worked for Rubbermaid. So Walmart went to Rubbermaid and they were like, we need this tub or whatever at this price point. So they remake molds and make thinner ones for Walmart so that they can get the prices down to what they need them at.
I could totally see that.
So it's the
Certain-
same
yeah.
thing with grills and stuff like that. So if you buy them from a big box place like that, they're thinner.
Yeah, but so that's what I'm saying. The place where I got all my appliances wasn't.
Well, that's why I asked.
It was in New Jersey. It would be considered like we would look at it as a chain. But I know outside of like I think the
Nobody's
tri-state,
gonna know.
you're never gonna see this place.
Yeah.
And that's why I actually I do think that way. I actually shopped at those places because
No, that's
I know the
good.
guy still makes the commission.
Yeah.
You know, remember we were kids also, you know, you go see a stereo, the guy would like know everything about it.
Yeah,
now
yeah.
it's like you're walking the aisle and they're like, what the fuck you doing?
Yep.
Get out of here. I actually had a friend tell me that he worked for one of those places, like a Walmart type place, and they told him he would engage the customers. He was like our age, maybe a little older, and he had some hard luck wherever he got a job later on in his life selling electronics. And he was excited to talk to people, trying to sell. And he actually I think he got fired eventually for talking to the customers too much to try to sell. They're like, they're educated. They have the phone. That's what they literally told him. They have a phone in their pocket. You're annoying them. Where it's like, what? Like, no, you're there to ring them up.
People still want to ask more stuff. You can
it
have
used to
a
be almost
flag.
annoying, right? Back in the day, because they were also
they'd swarm you.
yeah, because it was like a guy that's about to try to become like a car salesman someday, but he's getting his training
Yeah.
wheels. But that dude knew
Well, they're
everything.
still hustling TVs or whatever and making a cut off of it, so it's the exact same premise.
Yeah.
But I do
No,
remember
100%,
that.
Yeah, but they knew there's there's so many little things that are gone, and it's not always like the past was better, but as far as like we were talking about sustainability, right, and things that last, like it makes me sick to my stomach when I think about the amount of trash that like my small little family generates.
Yeah.
Makes me sick. I'm a little tiny, what am I? A little tiny family. You're a single guy, and you think about how much. So now put that, and I try to like sometimes repurpose things or reuse, recycle that whole stuff. And most people don't. I used to hang out with kids in high school that throw fucking bags of food out the window and throw their shit and litter and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Think about the amount of trash you get just from going to Wendy's.
Yeah.
A wrapper for your thing, a little tub for your fries, a bag, a fucking stack of napkins.
It's
salt,
actually
pepper, a cup, a top, a straw.
I have beef with the cannabis industry because of that.
What do you mean?
Well, because weed is supposed to, cannabis is supposed to be.
Oh, all
it's
the
from
packaging.
the, finally, it's decriminalized in most places. It's becoming legal. The packaging, it's gross. It's gross. They give you a bag that's gigantic that there's this heavy duty plastic. Then each
You're
thing.
talking about when you go to a dispensary?
Yeah, like in California, or Colorado, or something, and it's like
Yeah, the thing is like
the big,
it's
huge
like a legal size
bag to put all the other stuff in, and the boxes and the plastic, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like not most, but a lot of times if you're smoking weed, you're kind of like.
But that's what makes you. Well, that's where still like one day you'll go, I used to smoke legal weed or illegal weed, or you'll be like, yo, I got this illegal weed, you know what I mean, or whatever. Try it.
Yeah.
But that's what makes people feel comfortable with it, right? All the packaging. If
I
you
know.
got a little box with then a little
Goes back to
tube
programming,
inside
dude.
of it, dude,
Yeah.
we're like, look at this.
Especially if you're one of those kind of people that like is scared of weed, but
Yeah.
now it's legal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're like, yeah.
I guarantee you, somebody like that still wouldn't buy weed from a dude, like a local dude,
Mhm.
because they're like,
That's, dude. I know what you're saying, because they're not.
it's illegal weed.
They're not paying a million taxes and
Yeah,
giving you.
it's not
you know,
regulated. I can't
names
do
and
it.
plastic fucking things you got to break and plastic inside of plastic
Yeah.
before you get the fucking.
And a whole readout of percent of THC and how much CBD and
like bottled water. Think about that. Like
yeah.
the amount
I-
of bottles.
I drink
and plastic.
I have a gallon with me.
I finally brought.
Yeah. I do just a regular gallon, but that way at
least a
least
little
it's
less.
one. Because the amount of bottles you'd have to drink the amount of water I do would be ridiculous, and I feel horrible about it. It actually limits the amount of water that I drink per day if I don't have a gallon, because I'm just like, I don't want to open all these bottles. Honestly, I feel like that, so I don't drink as much water.
Yeah. I mean, I stopped drinking. And I mean, I shouldn't say stopped. I just put a bottle of water into this
Yeah,
thing.
you've been killing that thing.
But I stopped with the plastic when I heard about all the leaching and all these things that they're like, oh well, don't keep it in your car, but you think
I like to
fucking
leave mine
tractor
in the
trailer
sun.
that fucking brought it here from
Yeah,
wherever.
exactly.
It wasn't sitting in that
Exactly.
hot fucking thing.
Yeah, well, that's what my thing. They're like, I'm like, well, my parents would say, if you saw all the bacteria that's in that bottle of water, and I'm like, just since I opened it, like, it getting hot and cold didn't fucking do it on its own. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. There had to have been something in there.
We need big changes in this whole, like the whole paradigm.
Yeah.
It's got to shift.
Well, and you know that they had hemp plastic back in the day.
Yeah.
And then it got vilified, and now we have regular plastic everywhere.
I mean, hemp solved a lot of problems. Hemp had solved a lot of problems.
Did you ever see the video of Henry Ford with the hemp fender, and he's smashing it with a fucking big ass hammer, and it just bounces off of it?
Yep.
Yeah.
And hempcrete.
We're so
and
thank
it's
God we kept away from that. We were so
I mean, you would know, like, maybe I'm being a conspiracy theorist, but you would know way better than me about automobiles and cars, right? Like, do you remember, like, how, like, a door was boom, like, they were hot.
Yo, my truck the fenders are like paper.
Yeah, everything. Now is that now? Once again, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Everything to me is always a conspiracy. But or is that for some will argue? Maybe is that safety?
No.
It's not for safety.
How would that be safer?
Well, because the just to try to think about everything, I would think a well-made car, right? They were definitely made so much better.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, okay, now you got this thing that's so heavy, it could fucking plow through something. So maybe
That's
by
what
making
I wanna
them,
do
by
with
making
my
them
heavy
lighter,
car.
making them lighter, I don't know, like they almost break
No.
away. No,
It's what we were talking
But shit's
about
plastic.
before. It's what we were talking about. No,
Cars are
I
fucking
got
plastic
they're
for the most part.
they're metal. The fenders.
a lot
but
of plastic on a
they're-
car now.
I'm telling you, my fenders are the side of my truck bed is metal, but it is like fucking so thin, dude. Somebody we had a hockey goal, like a hockey net, and we went to put it in the back of the truck, and he literally just laid it against, not like slammed it against my truck, like kind of laid it against it and like put it in, and there was like 2 creases where the bars hit, and I'm like,
And a
dude,
truck.
you didn't even do shit. Yeah. And
Yeah,
years
man.
ago, that wouldn't have been like that.
No.
You'd have knocked yourself out trying to fucking.
You know, this is not the direction I wanted to go with the podcast, and that's fine. Just because that's why I like just talking to you, because we could just go off without too many points.
No, our initial point was just that everybody's trying to be right instead of meeting in the middle in some kind of middle ground, and they're just you just call everybody else an idiot or a racist or the extreme worst you can think of, and paint them as horribly as you can, so that you're the just virtuous one, and then that's the end of story. I'm right, you're wrong, you're an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, that was the main point, and you kind of brought it full circle before. Is that I want to make a point too? Is that don't put all your eggs in one basket, or for some savior. You know, there's not going to be a person. There's not going to be. I'll put it this way. There's not going to be a politician. There's not going to be anyone really. Even that just doesn't matter if we're even talking about a smaller fucking thing. You got to take control of your life. You're the only one that's going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Not the job promotion. Not the You got to fix yourself, and that goes with every fucking thing, man. So everyone, that's the big beef I have with Q, and I say it to all my friends. I don't know if I ever said it online here. Is I feel like it's a giant pacifier for people that would normally be making a lot of noise in this situation right now, and I feel like it's a giant pacifier
Because they're like, we have somebody.
oh, you don't understand. It's coming. It's all coming. It's always the carrot. It's dude. Don't worry,
yeah,
man.
our
Wait till
guys
this.
got it.
Yeah. Wait till this. Wait till that. Like it's
Yeah.
it's the plan. It's this. It's that. And I'm not shitting on Q, because there has been a lot of information, and just like I said, like Alex Jones, it's turned on a lot of people. So whether it's real, whether it's fake, whether it's psyop, whatever the fuck it is, it's turned on people.
Yeah.
To open their eyes to all kinds of things. I do think it's pacified people, and I don't like that part of it. And that's the same with Alex Jones. Alex Jones I look at him more as like a comedian now, and that's kind of how I view Trump. You know, when I watch Trump now speak, I kind of more like look at it. I mean, it's probably a terrible thing to say because our president, but I do.
Good.
Like,
He's
dude,
good.
he would crush.
He crushes.
He would crush as a comedian. He
Yeah.
really would.
He is a comedian.
And Alex Jones,
the shit that he says.
I know this is not real, but
I
he
think
might be
Alex
Bill Hicks.
started as a comedian.
No, that's the whole Bill Hicks
Did he
conspiracy.
No, but
No. No, he was a reporter.
Oh, really?
Yes, he's been a journalist forever.
See, I didn't.
But
know
the
Bill
whole
Hicks
conspiracy that
theory.
he's Bill Hicks.
No.
You ever heard that? Oh, dude.
Maybe you've.
That's a
mentioned
fun
it.
one.
I mean, I've heard it mentioned. Maybe.
Yeah, Alex.
but
Apparently,
I've
people
never
yell at
looked
him all the
into it.
time, and I've spoken to quite a few people that like are my friends, so I can ask this that haven't been around him, and I'm like, dude, and they're always just laugh, and they're like, no, man, because once again, like, stories about people that are just
Yeah.
stories or these weird things. These conclusions that people draw, like sometimes a lot of times they're not true.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard this one did that, or he's this, or she does this, and that's where Twitter becomes interesting. To go back to what we started talking about in the beginning, when you have celebrities, some of these people are not comedians. They're on funny shows, but they're not comedians, and they're writing just straight up weird shit. Let's talk about that. When you're writing just something that has no joke in there at all, and it's just straight up weird, well, we could talk about that, but I don't know if it's enough to say that person is this or
Right.
that, you know?
No. No, and that's again, everybody's just so quick to go to the furthest end. You know, because you got to be a complete asshole.
And what if Clint? What if?
So I can win.
Yeah. So what? And what if this? Like, what if there is this big giant plan, and there probably is.
What's the plan?
Just to corrupt our minds and to
That's
get us
it?
to fight and all the stuff that's happening right now. So,
I'm pretty sure, as much as I don't know, I'm pretty sure that's is a plan.
Yeah. Right. So what if everyone isn't in on it, and it's really just the tip of the iceberg that's in on it, with all these crazy things like the adrenochrome and all this stuff that everyone's talking about. What if it's not as prevalent as we all think, because we're not in the inside, that it's just like flowing at Hollywood parties? What if it's there at these parties or these elite things, but it's at the way back room?
I mean, I'm sure it is. You can't have that out on the forefront of these parties.
Well, that's my point. But the truth community, right? It's like the way, at least
They think it's just some huge
That's
child
like
orgy.
everyone.
Fucking as soon as you get in there, you know, like I'm sure that some people went to Epstein Island, right, unknowingly, and then probably were invited to something, or you know, like,
or did something wrong.
or
like,
but I
holy
mean, I'm
shit.
talking about. Or maybe hooked up with somebody and then found out later
that was filmed and that person was
they
16.
were
Like, I have a
yeah.
feeling that's what
Yeah.
a lot of what was going on there. Not all of it, but
Yeah,
I feel
and
like
then it's like, listen, you either play the game and go
Yeah.
up, or you don't and you disappear. And I think that's probably why so many, like, wasn't there some weird story with Kesha? I heard that there was some kind of
she had
weird
I think
deal with her manager.
Yeah,
or some bullshit
somebody
like
definitely
that.
did something to her.
Yeah.
And sexual or something, and she blew the whistle on that. And
Yeah,
you're right, I
and
haven't heard
now
about her.
have you heard of her?
Actually, you know what?
No, she fucking
Right.
disappeared.
And out of those pop people, she actually. I hate pop music, but that chick knew what she was doing. You're right. She only came out for a little bit, and she did come out about all that stuff.
She said something happened, and then next thing you know,
Yeah.
boop, disappeared.
That's yeah, I remember all that. Kanye West, he's definitely getting a little crazy, but you know, it happens, man. It's
Yo,
a cycle.
he's in
Like
the-
Britney
he-
Spears, right?
he-
There's a lot of people that have said crazy things. We talked about before.
Kanye West is stuck in the Get Out house.
I never saw that, but
He even wrote. He did
did,
tweet
right?
something that everybody knows.
I
that was
understand the
about
movie
me.
now because I've heard it referenced so many times, but I never
Yeah.
saw it.
Yeah. So like, it's a black dude that's dating a white chick,
Okay.
and she seems all good until they get into like they go to like some cabin, and I don't remember the exact story premise, but basically they got to the cabin, and then they there was another black dude there. There was only one other one. And he was like under some kind of mind control. He's just like, you know, like, so finally, I think he just told the guy, he's like, you know, get out. And then he tried to escape, and they fucking tried to kill him. And it was like a hunt. I think they might have hunted him, or it was some kind of weird like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's so many of these themes, right, that in Hollywood, especially these movies, video games, whatever, that kind of mirror what we're uncovering, or we think we are uncovering. And
Well, I think there was a concerted push to make people okay with pedophilia.
oh yeah,
The couple of researchers or whatever. Yeah, exactly. What there was a TED Talk, and then there was something else. Some lady
there's
seen.
quite a few things out there. You'll find.
Yeah, where they're like, oh, it's a condition. It's
Yeah.
just their sexual preference and this
Yeah.
and that. Well, you know, I mean, I get what you're saying, kind of, but still, in our society, I don't think there's room for dudes that wants to date 11-year-olds.
I got to do more research on it, but I've heard that there's a push to add that into the LBGT.
Come on.
And that to me, see, that's the real
That
fuck
kinda
you to
makes
that
me
community.
sick.
And that's the real fuck you to that fucking community.
Yeah, that
And
muddies
that's-
their waters as well.
Exactly, man. And that's not cool.
How about whoever made all the extra fucking letters too? Like, yo,
Yeah, we've
Well,
dissected
like-
that, you and I, and like it gets down to the point where it's like literally we're included in there. It's like if you ever like got a little freaky deaky, like that's like.
Yeah,
that's all bullshit,
was
man.
that the same thing? Do you think them trying to muddy the waters of that movement as well, so that it's not like it
maybe
makes
that's a
it seem
Republican thing.
ridiculous,
I don't
right?
know. Maybe it was because I know they were hard up on that.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? But
it
it
makes it seem ridiculous.
It does. It
Once
starts
you-
being funny now. It's like, come on.
Exactly.
Which I mean, honestly, I have no tolerance for like. There was a time when gays would get beat the fuck up because they're in love with someone else. I got no tolerance for that. I'll make all the queer jokes and stuff to me and my friends, whatever, is out of love. But violence against someone because who they are in love with, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
But yeah, man. So it got crazy. I think they added like the Furbies or whatever the fuck they call them, the furry people. Like I'm definitely pulling this out my ass. But there was a lot of like extra letters in there.
yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
There's literally over
It's just
15.
putting freaks in there. You know, who the fuck cares? I don't give a fuck what you do when you go home.
But why do you need your own designation?
Exactly.
You're a furry fucker.
Okay.
Why do we need
I don't need to
keep
know
that
it
to
either.
yourself? Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. If you want to tell everyone, sure.
I don't know. Do they like? It's not like. I don't feel like there's necessarily a need unless you're at an event where that's happening or they happen to be going to an event. But like, it's not like they go out to regular. I mean, I guess they could. I feel like they meet up in groups and do the furry thing, right? Like, whereas if you're with a gay couple, they're just all the time a gay couple.
I totally just threw this in there. This is not. I don't think this is really
I
part of
know.
it,
I'm just saying, like, that's who they are all the fucking time versus somebody that dresses up as a whatever. Like, imagine if you went to the movies and then there was a guy with a fucking chick dressed up or whatever, somebody dressed up as a fucking, you know what I mean, a panda or something.
I mean, I think it's just. I think it's so simple. It's like, don't hurt others, especially not ones that are innocent and can't fend for themselves. And I feel like most humans feel that way. Like, can't we just make it that simple? But it's just there's so many things. You guys were talking about the other thing about voter ID, right? The last guest on the other podcast was talking about how he thinks that's the whole agenda, right? For voter mail-in. Right, and all with the masks
I agree with that.
Yeah, right.
I think that's
But here you go,
kind
Clint.
of the ultimate.
Yeah,
goal.
let's say that's the ultimate goal. How easy of a fucking fix is that?
Yeah,
dude. How easy of a fix is that?
We already have face ID. Your phone will. Are you talking about apps?
I mean,
I'm talking about
apps. You could do it on. I mean, there's so many things.
Right now, you can still go to Walmart and you can eat outside, but in 2 more months, that's why. I mean, listen.
I mean, just to say,
They
Clint
even
Esposito's
said-
vote, you get one of them to register it through either your phone or something that says,
This
hey,
thing
that's
knows
you.
who the fuck I am.
Yeah,
Here, open my phone.
I can't. But I'm saying, like, it's such a simple fix. It's such a simple fix. And have you ever seen a voting machine? How confusing it is?
Yeah. But how about,
Come on, there's so many little fixes that
if you're
are we trying to, what are we doing here?
if you're
What are we all doing
registered
here?
as Republican and you go to the poll and you vote for a Democrat, does it count? Like, how does that work? Like, why do I need to register? Why would you need to register? Like, why can't you just go someplace and fucking vote?
Yeah, once again, I don't
That
understand.
doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't understand. It's another thing that
Pledges your
thing that
allegiance to divides us.
How about
into,
I want
what
to
are
make sure
you?
my country is in
What
the best
are you?
hands.
Are you a Democrat or what the fuck are you talking about?
That's
I'm an
crazy.
American
Could you
and I
imagine
want
that that's
it
the way
not to
most
be a
people think?
fucking shit place.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I want you to be the best to do the best for this country. That's why I think even the president thing is it's run its course. And that's an extreme thing.
Well-
Just like my extreme views. I think every fucking drug should be decriminalized and really illegal. I say that to people, they think that's like a flat earth thing. Like, whoa, let's think about this. I think every single
Yeah,
drug.
I agree.
Single drug.
I agree because,
Everyone. If alcohol is going to be legal.
dude, is suicide illegal?
Yeah, I think so.
Like,
It is, though. But I know what you're saying. Like, if someone wanted to and go to a doctor, they
it's
should.
yourself. Like, I don't know what. How can you?
That's
be
a
like,
tricky one. I feel
How
like
can you
they
be
maybe-
like, yo, it's illegal for you to kill yourself?
Yeah.
What do you mean? This is all my deal.
Yeah, I would hope that we live in a society that there's like people. If you reach out that
I'm just
far,
talking about
that they're gonna
freedom.
help you.
I'm
I know.
just talking
I know
about
what you're saying.
freedom
And there
of
you
how
go.
do you put a. You're talking about that person's life, right? And now you're like, we're gonna put legislation on it and be like, that's illegal. You can't do that. Like, what do you get if you try to like? So the only way you get punished is if you don't actually pull it off, and then what happens to you?
I don't know. I guess mental hospitals and all that, but it's like, yeah,
But that's a mental thing. That's not the law.
I don't know. I'm sure
Are-
you do
are
get in
they
trouble,
like
right?
you
If had a
get
big
fucking
standoff too,
probation?
right? And you had all that like resources. I mean, this is not even close to on topic, but have you ever been in the city? This is terrible. This just shows like how bad New York City could be. Have you ever seen like someone on a building trying to jump?
No.
Dude, half the fucking crowd in New York City is telling the guy to jump.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They are. Jump, you fucking pussy.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Like not, yeah. Yeah, you're fucking my day up.
yeah.
I'm talking.
Jump off of the
I'm talking
bridge.
more
I
than
need to get
90s.
to work.
Yeah, I've seen it so many times. The fucking shit that people would scream. I'm like, oh my god, this is fucking New York. But that's another episode.
We're at an hour and 40 minutes right now.
All right. Well, this episode we just talked a lot of circles, but that's okay.
That's the whole argument, is a bunch of circles. That's our point. Listen to people. Stop trying to be right. All right? We all, no matter if the person has a different opinion than you or not, they believe that what they think is for the better good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Most
most
people,
people.
at least,
Obviously,
yeah,
there's
of
this
course.
very
There's gonna
small
be, yes.
faction of people that are
Evil.
exactly evil and taking advantage of the system and people and stuff like that. And unfortunately, that's there too, and we got to remember that. And we're getting to a point where we're too compassionate. This is off subject too. We're getting to a point where we're too compassionate, and then we're just like letting people walk all over us. But anyway, stop trying to be right. Listen to people. Listen to the nuanced conversation. It's not always just black and white, Republican, Democrat. You know, there's a lot in between. And if you actually stopped and had a conversation with somebody about what your actual end goal is and where you would like to be, you're going to find that you're way closer. You maybe have different ideas of the path to get to said destination, but I can guarantee you that our destination in our heads of a nice place to live is probably the same.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Once again, comes down to intention too.
Very similar. And that's what everybody,
intention. Yeah.
not everybody, most people want good. They think what they have in their head or they're doing is for the greater good.
That's very true too. That's a very true statement as well. Clint.
So that's, you need to take people's words as that. They're frustrated and they want something better. And again, I'm not right. You know, I think maybe I have some good ideas, but I don't really know the truth, and neither do you, and nobody really knows the truth. And it's good to people, if somebody asks a question, we automatically, I asked a question, I asked like asshole questions, but I asked a question, then people jump down my throat, and I'm like, you're missing the point of the question. You've just gone to, again, the other side of the argument so that I can be the asshole and you're right. And that's not even, listen, have a conversation with people. We're closer than we are further apart, and maybe we just have different ideas of how to get there.
Absolutely. Listen to what someone else is saying. You said it perfect, Clint, and that's true. Like, I love to speak to people that have different opinions than me. I really do. I enjoy it, and I don't scream and yell. And
people that have different opinions that can articulate it to you and have a conversation about it, not scream at you that you're an idiot.
No, those people I don't have those conversations with those kind of people.
You can't.
I just don't.
You can't.
I just don't speak about anything. I mean, that's why some people are shocked about all the stuff I've been speaking about, because I always kind of I don't ever try to sway people either.
Yeah.
Like, we'll use the flat earth thing. I'm not a flat earther, but if I was, I wouldn't be trying to tell every single person,
bro, you got to get on this flat earth thing.
It would just,
what are you, a round earth show?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
But there are some topics right now that do need awareness, and I think a lot of us, guys, stop saying we're all, but a lot of us are on the same page. And I even with some of the craziest, sickest comedians and other artists that I used to deal with, that maybe their art is to you disturbing, or maybe the content of their jokes are fucked up. I know a lot of these people, and they're all been great to me. I haven't. When somebody's off, I have a very good radar, and I'm once again not 100%. But if someone's off, I could kind of tell. Like I've been so good with that. If somebody's later on you find out, oh, that guy was a crook or this or that, I'm pretty good with that gut thing.
Yeah.
Pretty good with it. And like most of the guys and girls that tell the craziest fucking jokes or have the craziest art, for the most part, are like the nicest guy or the girl. Like, for example, right? I mean, we could say it because he's in jail. Cosby.
Yeah.
Cosby was the squeakiest clean fucking comedian. Cosby used to fucking call other black comics and tell them what they should and shouldn't say. Cosby did some of the most atrocious crimes I've ever heard of. And he was painted as America's dad.
Yeah.
So, what's up is down. We know this already, guys. If anybody is... Clint, you got anything else to say? Or
Not really. Just check out freethinker.tv. It's the culmination of all of our podcasts basically on there. So check that out. And just Freethinker on everything. Freethinker TV on everything. Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Please just, especially YouTube and stuff like that, like, subscribe. We also have a Patreon.
yeah. So I just also want to thank everyone. I really do. I want to thank all of the new listeners and the people that have been with us from the beginning.
Lots of support.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Clint and I, we put a lot of work into this. I know it might not seem like it, but we do. And I really appreciate any of the new listeners. And we got some really cool guests lined up today. It was just Clint and I just wanted to rant a little bit and talk to each other about things. Sometimes that will happen on here.
And even address especially the everybody calling each other out, comedians and everything else. Everybody's got to chill a little bit. Yeah. Calling everybody racists and everything else. So, yeah, everybody out there, relax,
Chill
man.
out.
Jeez.
If it's legal in your state, smoke a joint.
Yeah. And if it's not,
If it's
do
not-
it, but just say allegedly. All right, guys.
All right. Thank you so much.
Next
Good night.